3 civilizations that never touched, never traded, never exchanged a single word, all wrote down the exact same war, same serpent, same 7 heads, same storm god forced to earn his crown by killing it. Babylon called her Tiamat, Greece called him Typhon, India called him Vritra. None of these people ever met. None of them ever could have, and yet somehow they all remembered the same monster. I need you to sit with that for a second, because it does not resolve the way you want it to. This is not 3 cultures borrowing from a neighbour. Mesopotamia crystallized its version roughly 2,000 years before the Common Era. The Greek material solidifies centuries later, an ocean and a mountain range away, born from oral traditions that had 0 trade route back to Babylon at the time the myth took its shape. And the Vedic hymns, composed in the Punjab, sung by people who had never seen the Mediterranean or the Persian Gulf, describe, almost beat for beat, the same cosmic war. 3 separate skies, 3 separate rivers, 1 serpent. Let's go to Babylon first, because that's where the pattern starts screaming. Before there was time, before there was land, before the gods had names that meant anything, there was only Tiamat. She is not a monster in the way you're imagining yet. She is the primordial saltwater ocean itself, the mother from whom every god descended, mingling with sweetwater Apsu to birth the first divine generation. This is the terrifying part people skip. Tiamat did not want war. She was provoked into it. Her younger gods grew loud, chaotic, restless, and Apsu, her consort, decided to destroy his own children to get silence. The gods struck first and killed him, and Tiamat, the ocean, the mother, the origin, broke. She did not simply grieve, she transformed. She took a new husband, Kingu, and handed him the Tablet of Destinies, the literal source code of cosmic authority. And then she built an army the universe had never seen. 11 monstrous serpent things with venom instead of blood in their veins, scorpion men, rabid dogs the size of temples, a horned serpent dragon coiled at the front of it all. This is not a myth about a monster attacking a city. This is the mother of all gods marching to unmake creation itself, because creation had murdered her husband and forgotten who gave it breath. The older gods panicked. Anu tried and failed. Ea tried and failed. The council of gods sat in their assembly hall shaking because nothing they had could match what she had become. And then Marduk, young, not the eldest, not even next in line by any birthright, stood up and said he would fight her, but only under one condition. Before he lifts a single weapon, he demands the throne. Not the honour of victory, not gratitude, absolute permanent kingship over every god in the assembly, forever, in advance, whether he wins or not. Think about the audacity of that. He is gambling the survival of the cosmos on his own ego, and the older gods, terrified, agree. They hand a young storm god the crown before the war is even fought, because Tiamat is that close to unmaking them. He rides out with a net to snare her, the 4 winds to pin her open, a storm chariot, and a single arrow. She opens her jaws to devour him whole, and he drives the winds down her throat, holding her mouth open so wide she cannot close it, and puts the arrow through her heart. Then, and this is the detail that should stop you cold, he does not just kill her, he splits her corpse in half like a shellfish. One half becomes the dome of the sky, the other becomes the earth beneath your feet. Every mountain, every river, every stretch of soil in the Mesopotamian cosmos is built from the body of the chaos serpent mother. Order is not separate from chaos here. Order is chaos, butchered and rearranged, hold that image, because now we cross an ocean of both distance and time into Greece, and the war repeats itself almost exactly, except this time the Sky King loses first. Zeus has just won Olympus. He has just finished his war against the Titans, just claimed the throne his own father tried to deny him by swallowing his siblings whole. He thinks the worst is behind him. It is not. Gaia, the earth itself, furious that her Titan children were imprisoned in Tartarus, births one final monster, her last and most terrible child, Typhon. He is described as vast enough that his head scrapes the stars while his feet crush the earth. From his shoulders grow 100 serpent heads, and every one of them hisses in a different voice. The roar of a bull, the shriek of a lion, the bark of a pack of dogs, all screaming from one body at once. This is not a monster you fight. This is a monster the sky itself should not be able to survive. And here is the detail every simplified retelling conveniently erases. Zeus loses the first round. Typhon overpowers him, and in that moment of victory, does something almost surgical. He cuts the sinews out of Zeus's hands and feet, the tendons that let a god grip a thunderbolt or stand upright at all, and hides them, wrapped in a bearskin, guarded by his sister monster Delphi in a cave. Zeus, king of Olympus, lord of storm and lightning, is left crippled, unable to walk, unable to fight, while the chaos serpent that just defeated him goes back to terrorizing creation. It takes trickster gods to fix what brute strength could not. Hermes, the thief, and Pan, the wild god of untamed places, sneak into that cave and steal the sinews back, reattaching them to their king in secret. Only then, restored, humiliated, furious, does Zeus return to finish the war, driving Typhon under Mount Etna, where his rage still supposedly burns as volcanic fire to this day. Same architecture, a young storm god, a serpent monster with 100 voices instead of one, a war that is nearly catastrophically lost before order wins by the barest possible margin. Now go east, go all the way to the Rig Veda, to a landscape with no ocean between it and Greece, close enough to explain a shared story, and you find, again, the same skeleton wearing different skin. Vritra is drowned given a body. He is described as a serpent, sometimes with multiple coiling heads, who has wrapped himself around the mountains and swallowed every river in existence, holding the world's water hostage inside his own coiled form. This is not a myth about a monster attacking a village. This is the entire cosmos dying of thirst because the serpent of chaos has physically imprisoned the water that makes life possible. The gods themselves are helpless, and so they turn to Indra, and they beg him to become something more than a god. They hand him Soma, the sacred intoxicant that swells a deity beyond its own limits, and he drinks it until he is monstrous enough to face what's coiled around the mountains. His weapon is the Vritra, a thunderbolt not simply forged but built from the bones of the sage Dadichi, who gave his own skeleton willingly so that a weapon capable of killing a chaos serpent could exist at all. Indra hurls it. Vritra's coils shatter. The rivers he swallowed come pouring back out across the earth, and the world, which had been drowning in drought, finally breathes. Storm god, serpent of chaos, a weapon born from sacrifice, a war that does not just defeat a monster, but physically remakes the cosmos. Water flows again, sky separates from earth, order is not restored, it is created for the first time. Mesopotamia, Greece, India, nobody copied anybody. So what are we actually looking at?
Here is the question this channel exists to ask, and I want you to notice I am not going to pretend
It has a clean answer. We are not asking whether Babylon and Greece traded stories, because the dating and the geography make that functionally impossible for these particular myths in the form we have them. We are asking something stranger. Why would separated human civilizations, with no shared language, no shared trade route, no shared memory that history can document, independently choose to encode the origin of cosmic order as a war against a specific serpent shape? Not a war against darkness in the abstract. Not a war against evil in the abstract. A war against a multi-headed, water-associated chaos serpent, fought by a storm and kingship god, who wins barely, and in winning, builds the world. That specificity is what should unsettle you. If this were just good defeats evil, fine. Maybe that's simply how human brains process conflict, but it isn't that vague. It's a serpent. It's usually connected to primordial water, the ocean, the swallowed rivers, the drought. It's usually multi-headed, and the god who kills it is usually not the strongest or the eldest, but the one who steps up when the older order has already failed. So let's zoom all the way into the serpent itself, because I think the serpent, not the god, is the actual center of this pattern. Tiamat is the saltwater ocean before creation had form. Typhon, born from the earth's fury after the Titans fell, represents the last surge of pre-Olympian chaos refusing to stay buried. Vritra is drought and stagnant, unflowing water, the opposite of Tiamat's flood, but the same principle. Water refusing to move the way life requires. Three faces of one thing. The state of the universe before time had rhythm, before the calendar existed, before rivers ran on schedule and seasons turned in order. And here's the detail that tightens this pattern until it nearly snaps. Go to the Canaanite texts from Ugarit, and you find Lotan, sometimes called Leviathan in later scripture. A coiling, multi-headed sea serpent defeated by the storm god Baal in a war that once again establishes cosmic and agricultural order afterward. That is a fourth independent data point from a fourth cultural zone, sitting geographically and chronologically adjacent enough to Mesopotamia that some scholars will tell you it's simply regional diffusion. But its narrative bones are identical to Serpent's thousands of miles further east, where diffusion becomes much harder to argue. Four separate traditions, one recurring shape, coils, multiple heads, primordial water, a storm god who must win a war he is not guaranteed to win, in order for time itself to begin ticking correctly. Every one of these myths marks a before and after. Before the serpent dies, there is no season, no river schedule, no reliable sky. After the serpent dies, the calendar starts. That is not a coincidence of storytelling convenience. That is four different human populations agreeing independently that cosmic order is not a given. It is something that had to be fought for, against a specific enemy, in a specific shape, and won by force. I am not going to tell you what that means, because I don't think the honest answer exists yet, and I distrust anyone who tells you it does. Maybe this is a shared memory of something real, some catastrophic flood, some multi-generational drought, some genuinely world-threatening event so severe that every surviving human culture encoded it the same way, independently, because the terror was identical everywhere it struck. Maybe it's simply the shared architecture of the human mind, wired the same way, regardless of geography, defaulting to the same symbols when it tries to explain how order emerges from nothing. Or maybe, and this is the possibility that keeps this channel awake at night, every one of these civilizations was perceiving something structurally true about the universe itself, something none of them had the vocabulary to describe except as a serpent, a storm, and a war that had to be won before the world could begin turning correctly. I don't know which of those three is true. I don't think the evidence lets any of us know yet. What I do know is that Babylon, Greece, and India buried the same serpent under 3 different skies, gave it the same number of coils, and let 3 unconnected storm gods win the same impossible war. And I cannot tell you why that isn't supposed to bother you.